Completing the Ironman 70.3, for me, it's a testament of my resilience, of my willpower, of my endurance, and hard work and commitment. And it is a testament of my growth as a person, because our coach always says triathlon reveals your true character. And I thought it has revealed my true character.
For me, this is a dream come true. I think Ironman Durban 70.3 is one of the best courses, especially on the bike path globally, and it was really great to be able to have this experience.
It's about putting it all together. The training, the discipline that you have to have, the consistency in showing up, getting into the race and getting it done. So I always say that, the race, all that's left is for you to use your heart and your mind.
The race was a culmination of 7 years. 7 years of waiting to be able to cross that finish line and cross it in style and cross it in a time. I had maybe targeted a time of about 5 hours, 35 minutes. I did 5 hours, 48. So for me, I was happy that I was able to finish. And, I enjoyed myself. I literally enjoyed myself. Singing, clapping, dancing, and crossing the finish line.
Never die, gango. Now me be never die, gango. Never die, gango. I'm gonna live forever on the day. 1, 2, 3. Look in my eyes, tell me what do you see? I got the Holy Ghost fire burning inside of me. Okay, God on my side, I'm on top of the world. I don't need to seek approval cause I'm already loved, yeah. Take a look at me, He came down for me, hey, to show me love that no one else could. Gave me a brand new feeling. Now even when I lose, I win. You can call me never die, gango. Now me be never die, gango. Never die, gango.
My name is Bruce Chamjor, a family man, a husband, a father, and I work as a project manager for a not-for-profit association supporting exporting companies and smallholder farmers within African, Caribbean, Pacific states, and I love triathlon.
No.
My name is Silas, or Sai, or Silo. That all depends on which era you know me from. I consider myself an explorer of life with all its ups, downs, nuances, excitement. I love to explore. So I think that's how I'd sum up my life. I'm a slave to a cat. And I consider that cat a part of my extended family. So I have a wife, 2 children, 2 adults, not 2 children.
My name is Victor Huria. I'm a water engineer by profession, working for a water utility. And on the side, I'm a budding triathlete and a general lover of outdoor activities.
My name is Michael Marango Wara. I am the team manager for Team TriFit. I am known as a triathlete by hobby, a sports PR practitioner by profession, and I'm a man of God by calling. I currently run Team TriFit, which sometimes I like to tell myself every day that it is the foremost organization in Kenya that seeks to raise the profile and participation of people in triathlon. We as Team TriFit, together with our partners RwandAir, Nomad's Beach Restaurant, ESET East Africa, Safest Physio, and Hibiscus Homes and Cottages based in Diani, we came together and conceptualized what we call the Ironman Africa Odyssey. That's, we'll see TTF members attempt all the Ironman 70.3 races that are hosted in Africa. And so by extension, that is Port Elizabeth, that is Durban, that is Rwanda, that is Mossell Bay, Egypt, and Morocco. So our objective is, of course, to raise the profile of the sport, to inspire as many people to get into the sport and train for an Ironman 70.3, or to get them into any form of triathlon, be it a sprint or Olympic distance, but then also showcase Africa as a continent, showcase the beauty, the culture, the diversity, and most importantly, the athleticism of us as Africans, not just in one sport, but in 3 sports. And then you get to see what the continent has to offer. And for us, that is very important because we want to showcase that Africa has a lot to give the world, and not just Africans in itself. And we want to invite now the world into Africa to come and do the triathlons. And what better way to do that than by doing an Odyssey?
The Ironman 70.3 Durban was fantastic. I think it's one of the best courses that I've participated in, and I can confirm that from various conversations that we've had with other athletes. It was fantastic. The swim was a bit rough, but the bike loops was quite picturesque and beautiful all the way down.
The race was not really what I expected, even though they say a good day is seen in the morning. So we had a beautiful sunrise. Even the MC attested to that. Had a beautiful swim.
The swim for me is always one of the parts that I get into moments of deep thought and reflection. I start wondering, why did I do this? Because that's always the hardest part for me. I'm not the strongest of swimmers, so it requires me to now muster up a lot of courage and confidence. So my anxiety usually plays out just before the swim. And most of the times it doesn't help that that's where you're starting. So you'll always find that at that point in time I'm just trying to think about how am I going to get through the event and how is it going to play out this time. Will I be able to finish? So the same thing started with this. There was a lot of stories about how the weather and the water in Durban plays out very well. It can play out in a lot of different ways. So it was a very pleasant surprise that the water was calm, and I make that statement with a lot of I don't know how I'd put it, but it was calm. And we managed to get in. It was a little bit of a challenge for me in terms of executing my sighting, but the swim section came through. I managed to get out. I can guarantee you that the Indian Ocean levels have not receded as a result of me drinking half the water. Managed to get that done and got onto the bike course.
The swim was a bit challenging than I expected. There was quite some big waves, which proved to be a bit challenging.
The swim was, I think, the second best swim I've ever done in a competition. I had a lot of fun. It is very rare that I am the pacemaker in the swim. So it was fantastic to turn at the buoy and see a gang load of people behind me. And I was coming out of the swim. I think my vanity came in, so I saw a lot of cameramen. So I took a lot of time coming out. I thought I was James Bond. And then I realized I'm in a race. So I needed to make things a bit more serious.
I usually feel quite comfortable on the bike course. So the beauty of actually getting out into transition 1 is that you can actually get out and admire a lot of people's bicycles if you're not coming out last. So transition was rather empty as I came through. But I wouldn't say it's because I was last. That was just because I was in the final wave. But coming through into transition, the bike always, I feel that now I've done the first leg, getting to the second leg, I'm comfortable on the bike. It always plays out quite okay. I think I could probably do a lot better on the bike, but it was a good course. Being able to actually even just ride out onto the M4 here, onto the highway running center line, that was enjoyable. I really did have a lot of fun on that. The climbs were challenging. You've got to put in the effort. You've got to make sure that your training plays out, that you've got to be able to get to the tops of those hills, but you always know that there's that reward. Once you get to the top of a hill, then you just know you're dropping, just let it go. So I think that for me is the part. Every time I'm dropping, wind in my hair, whatever little hair I have. And then the flats, just keeping it going. A lot of complaints about the wind, the headwinds out there, but I don't know, it's expected. I think each and every course is different, and I think this one didn't play out too badly.
Onto the bike, the first loop was fantastic, but coming back on the second loop, there was a bit of headwinds, which overall, affected, especially that we're looking forward to a fast course. So that was something that I didn't anticipate.
Getting onto the bike on the first kilometer, I got a puncture, which I managed to fix. On the kilometer 18, got another puncture on the same wheel, which I managed to fix. So I lost a bit of time, of which I tried to catch up now on the bike. I think I must have pushed a little bit too hard because I think I burnt my legs.
I'm cycling on the M4. For those who are cyclists, cycling on a highway that's completely closed just for you. You can overtake left, right, and center. No cars hooting. Road has generally been swept, so you have less opportunity to get punctures and things like that. It was beautiful. So it's a general climb. You have your views on the right. You see the ocean. It was just fantastic. There's a lot of flora and fauna. It was just beautiful. And then coming back down, just latching to TT position. We had visited Solomon Cycles, and Reziman, as we like to call him, told us, just make sure you finish your cycle before 11, otherwise the wind will hit you. And let's just say I did not finish before 11, and the wind hit me, and it really hit me.
Moving on to the run, I was a bit hopeful that I'll catch on time, but I think because of the heat, by the time I was getting onto the run, it was a bit too hot. So yeah, it was a struggle with the cramps, trying to manage taking all the nutrition at the station, which sort of helped. But I pushed it to the end, and I can say overall it was a good race. I think that's what Ironman is all about. You must prove you're an Ironman.
Some are flying past us.
Came into transition, got onto the run, and it was relatively flat, but it was not relatively hot. It was just hot. Beautiful weather. Yes, you're running on the promenade. There's a beach and everything. Everybody cheering you, but it just doesn't take away from the sun. The sun was welcome, but it was a shocker. So we did 2 loops on the course, and then finish on the world famous red and black carpet to the sounds of the DJ and MCs, just welcoming you home. So for me, the race was a culmination of 7 years. 7 years of waiting to be able to cross that finish line and cross it in style and cross it in a time. I had maybe targeted a time of about 5 hours, 35 minutes. I did 5 hours, 48. So for me, I was happy that I was able to finish. And, I enjoyed myself. I literally enjoyed myself. Singing, clapping, dancing, and crossing the finish line.
During the run, it was a bit hot than expected. The weather here is winter, so we were thinking it would be a cool sort of run, but actually it was quite hot. So it was a bit tricky to navigate the run especially after the long bike ride.
The last segment is the run. And my only takeaway from that is, did you know that you do not see the sun to feel it? It was just hot. And I remember coming out of transition and my bottles falling out of my hydration belt, and I was just like, oh no, this is going to come undone, but I quickly picked it up. So I was obviously the only guy who guys were seeing running with like 2 little bottles in my hands, and I had to actually then fit in everything else that had to be added on. I had to now work with it and not drop everything. So I think I'd make for a fairly good juggler in life. So the run was a little bit of a challenge just because of the heat, but happy that I was able to actually run all the way, maybe just walk through the 8 stations. And I guess the race, they provisioned well for that. So we got enough cooling of water, so that worked pretty well for us. And getting to the finish line, I mean, that's it. You just do your last turn, and this is it. This is what you came for. I think it all comes together when you're coming in for the last turn and coming into the finish line. I'll never take for granted that, once you've done leg 1, leg 2, and leg 3, then leg 3 actually just puts it all together. You actually then know what it is you've been through. You define what triathlon's all about. When people say swim, bike, and run, at that moment is then when I've actually now executed the 3, and it has to be the 3. If you've not done either 1 or 2 or 3, then it's not a triathlon. So I think for me that's a moment, getting across the red carpet. I can't think of a better way to finish a race than for somebody to lay out a red carpet for you. And of course the vibe. I mean, it's incredible. People coming out, even on the course, random people cheering you on. They don't know you, but they're there to support you. So I think the race is just not about you as an individual. It's also about the crowds, the vibe. It's about your teammates as well. So I think it's also good to see your teammates out on the course. You're going up, your teammates coming down, high-fiving each other. That's a very critical part, and I think it was an enjoyable race that came together. I think we're just so lucky that everything did come together, both weather-wise, everything. You don't take for granted when stuff comes together.
For the Ironman Africa Odyssey to come into play, we had a host of partners. One of the organizations that actually made this dream a possibility is RwandAir. We reached out to them and asked them if they would like to join us on this amazing adventure. And having sat down with management and we shared with them our vision, we believe that RwandAir is the preferred airline to take us across Africa. And just like their tagline says, flying the dream of Africa. It was a dream to be able to fly with RwandAir.
RwandAir's support has been incredible during this entire event. They have made the process smoother, from online checking to actually when we were delivering our bicycles, they made sure that they took care of them, especially that we have equipments that need care on transit. So they paid great attention to this equipment for the event.
Boarding onto the plane, the customer service was really good. The reception by the team on board was really great. I enjoyed the food, the drinks. It was quite okay. And also upon landing at Kigali airport, the staff were really courteous, and you can even tell they have they're trying to take care of the visitors over there, trying to ensure that you're not left behind by your plane, checking up on your boarding times and everything.
They definitely ensured that they would cater to us as athletes. So our bikes, they made sure that our bikes were labeled fragile. Our bikes arrived with us, which is something that a lot of cyclists and triathletes complain, even just general sportsmen who carry gear. So the fact that our bags were booked from Nairobi to Kigali, from Kigali to Johannesburg, and Johannesburg through to Durban was a beautiful blessing for us.
Travel being an essential part of whatever destination you need to get to, it's great that RwandAir stepped in support of our travel plans. The experience was great. Two hops out of Nairobi into Kigali, down to Joburg, and expected to get all the way back. It's the basics that count. Clean aircraft, friendly cabin crew, the little things, even a warm blanket. That for me is the little things. If you actually have those things working for you, I'd say that's what makes a difference. And of course, friendly prices. If you can deliver on an experience at a good price point, then I think RwandAir came through, and I'd fly them any day, every other day. I'd fly with them.
Completing the Ironman 70.3, for me, it's a testament of my resilience, of my willpower, of my endurance and hard work and commitment. And it is a testament of my growth as a person, because our coach always says triathlon reveals your true character. And I thought it has revealed my true character. And also, being in the race, the support I've gained from my teammates, from the coach, from the participants, the guy who helped me with the pump, the mechanic on the course. It's a great showmanship, great sportsmanship, and Ubuntu. It's a show of Ubuntu to the people.
This is a dream come true. I think Ironman Durban 70.3 is one of the best courses, especially on the bike path globally, and it was really great to be able to have this experience, but also just the Durban city itself, beautiful, wonderful people, and the triathlon community. It was quite amazing to be part of this event, but also to push my limits in both the challenging swim as well as bike and the run. So it has been an incredible dream for me that I've been able to complete this, and I find great pride in this.
It's about putting it all together. The training, the discipline that you have to have, the consistency in showing up, getting into the race and getting it done. So I always say that, the race, all that's left is for you to use your heart and your mind, and that's how you race. But you cannot get into a race if you've not done what you need to do before. So finishing it, for me, it's about all of it coming together, and I always say it's more important than trying to get onto a podium position or winning the race, as people say. It's bringing it together, and I'd actually say that if you manage, or rather if you belong to like a training team or a training club, then it's also representing them and taking one for the team.
7 years ago, I had actually committed to doing this particular race, and I wasn't able to come. So it hit me when I was actually on the run, and I got a bit emotional. Oh my God. But from there, I was like, this is the time. In fact, I actually said, it's literally time for Africa. It's a God-ordained moment that, 7 years have come and passed, and now we're here, and finally, and not just here as Michael, we're here as Team Trifit, and, together it's Silas and Horia and Bruce, to actually start off this odyssey.
If you're thinking about doing triathlon, I would really encourage you to register and participate in one. Do not procrastinate. If you find the swimming and the bike and running interesting, just enroll in a triathlon. And Team Trifit organizes a series of races within the year, so you can just check on our social media pages and participate in one. And for those who are already doing triathlon, I think it's very important that you trust the process. Sometimes you're not consistent, so it's important to trust the process and be patient, because it does not really come overnight. So you have to trust the process in the entire training plans that you're having across the journey to be able to complete this event.
For anybody who wants to get into triathlon, I would encourage you to first take stock of, if this is a journey that you truly genuinely want to commit to. Sometimes people will see things on Instagram, you get excited, you get carried away and things like that. And then the reality of the training and the races, begins to dawn on you. So for me, I always say, take stock of where you are as an individual. We have a famous line at Team Trifit that triathlon doesn't build character, it actually reveals it. And triathlon will reveal your character. If you're impatient, it will reveal it. But if you're kind, caring, it will also reveal it. Then from there, I would then now encourage you to look for a good coach. Of course, I would plug Team Trifit at this point in time, but there are a host of other coaches in Kenya or wherever you're watching in the world who would be able to help you on that particular journey. Then from there, draft up a program that will be able to take you from point A to point B, of course, with that race in mind. And then enjoy the journey. have fun. Triathlon is a lifestyle, and it's a very addictive lifestyle. As long as you can taper it, have fun. Again, you can see now, because of triathlon, we are on the Africa Ironman Odyssey. You get to travel the world.
Just start. Like how I started, I was afraid of swimming in the open ocean. That's how I got into triathlon, and I decided to face my fears, and I signed up for a race. So I would encourage them. Growth happens when you face your fears, venturing into the unknown. So if you want to become a triathlete, if you want to become an Ironman, you must be ready to venture into the unknown and be willing to commit to the training. And you'll generally grow as a person based on my testament.
For those who are already triathletes, I would always encourage you, take stock of where you are. Sometimes you have a good race, sometimes you have a bad race. Sometimes you have a good training week, sometimes you have a bad training week. I will always encourage you, take stock, again, just like take stock of where you are. What are your goals? What are your objectives? Why are you doing triathlon? Are you doing it to complete a race? Are you doing it to compete in a race? Are you doing it for a personal best? Are you doing it for a podium finish? So once you, as now a triathlete, establish where you are, then now from there, we can be able to chart a path forward. One thing I've noticed with a lot of triathletes is that our recovery and nutrition is very poor. And I speak that also having struggled with a few of the same things when it comes to recovery and nutrition. So I'll always encourage, budget allowing, you can get in touch with a nutritionist. They'll be able to help you. For recovery, include things like mobility and flexibility. If you have the budget, incorporate things such as physio, therapy maybe once or twice a month, just to open up the kinks in your body. And then from there, just enjoy the journey. Sometimes it can be daunting. We can have good days, we can have bad days, but always remember the goal that has put you on that particular path. Remember that it's a lifestyle, and a lifestyle that you can pass on and be salt and light to everybody who you interact with going forward in life.
If you can run or swim or ride, you're a third of the way there. So all you need to do is just learn 2 other skills, and you can finish a triathlon. It's not easy. You have to commit. You have to start. Actually, I think that's more important. You have to start before you commit. And you just have to stay the course. Be confident that if you do make the decision, it's something that you can start and you can finish. Just going back to the whole thing about even the race. If you're going to start something and finish it. So I tell anyone who's aspiring to do a triathlon, you can, if you believe you can. So do it, do it, do it.